Hello, I'm Drew Boyce, and welcome back to The Local Lens, the show where we highlight people, places, and events that make the Upper Valley unique. In this episode, we're checking out First Friday, a monthly community event that celebrates local art, music, and connection. And while it happens every month, a couple times a year, it gets a little bit bigger, with a block party style gathering that brings even more energy to a downtown parking lot. We stopped by one of those bigger events to hear the music, meet the artists, and talk to the organizers that make it all happen. You'll hear from a local artist and two of the key people behind the scenes and get a real sense of how creativity brings the community together. If you've never been to a First Friday, this is your chance to see what it's all about. Let's take a look.
My name is Kim Souza, and I am the proprietor of Revolution in White River Junction. We have just been having this sort of fun retail community experiment for 23 years now. First Friday in general is just sort of it's kind of a downtown-wide, like open house kind of thing. Some are more active than others. And this parking lot party that we're doing tonight, we usually do it twice a year. We usually do it in June, First Friday, and September, First Friday. But for a number of reasons, with like some of the other galleries having big openings in July, and July 4th being the First Friday, we just decided to do second Friday in July this year. The idea is that it's just like kind of like a block party, but a little grittier. Like we just, instead of closing off a street, we just use the private parking lot that belongs to the Riggs family and that owns this building. And then we just set up, we have DJ Scar, who usually plays a lot of like reggae and funk on his turntables. And then we have the Sean Hay and his wife Milani, who do the pull-up the jerk chicken, which is so good. So we just got we were supposed to have Camden's Sweet K's lemonade, but he wasn't feeling well, so he couldn't come tonight. So just it's just kind of a really organic, pretty low-key little dance party in the parking lot.
My name is Alexis Smith, and I am the curatrix for Peter Schumann of the Bread and Puppet Theater. In this community, their First Friday, there's an art walk that goes around town. So the venues, stores, galleries, and spaces are open, sometimes a little bit later. Usually it's from 5 to 8, and there are artists on exhibition in these venues. Often there's food and drink being being given away, and their wares being sold, but it's a night to really expand on the art in our community and have these venues sharing other artists' work. So that's why I'm here with Peter Schumann's work displayed all around this parking lot, and so that's sort of an example of how artwork happens here.
So for the last few years, when we celebrated our 20th anniversary, the Bread and Puppet parking lot dance troupe came down and they did a whole performance and everything, and it was really fun. And so since then they've come and just done the beautiful Peter Schumann bedsheet art, these incredible messaging and imagery on these giant canvases that get hung on the brick walls. And that's been a really special, because Bread and Puppet has been a special part of my life since I was a teenager, and so to have them come and kind of share this experience with us is really just it means a lot to me.
It's a little loud out there, so we came inside to just give you a little history about Bread and Puppet Theater. And we were invited here by Kim, who is the director owner of Revolution, and she really likes to incorporate local artists and political activism and community and food and music, art, and support and solidarity for different causes. So Bread and Puppet Theater has been in Vermont here. Wow, we're moving into 72, I guess, 1972, left New York City and came to Vermont. We have a beautiful museum in Glover and just opened a new not museum across the street. We are doing circuses every Sunday in the summertime, parades all around the state. You've probably seen us for years. This is my 37th year in the circus and working with Bread and Puppet Theater. And I have the joy and amazing honor to work with Peter Schumann doing exhibits of his giant bed sheet paintings. So you'll see in this clip these huge giant paintings painted on discarded bed sheets. In the beginning of the pandemic, Bread and Puppet received hundreds of these discarded bed sheets from hotels that were freaking out and changing over their linens. So Peter has been using them as a palette daily, these paintings, to kind of create the piece of the day. And then these giant bed sheets I am challenged to bring around communities and places to put up, and usually in conjunction with events. I often teach a small workshop, a conchastoria, a traditional Bread and Puppet painted story on a bed sheet, telling in a call-response fashion with sometimes music, instruments, and puppetry, some event or piece of history or storytelling that the conchastoria sings. It's an ancient street theater historical piece that is a style of Bread and Puppet Theater that we've been doing for years. And then we have a beautiful cathedral that has indoor shows on Friday nights. I encourage you to come up and see the museums and be a part of the circus and the pageant and the procession, the oratorios, and this Friday night show as well. And if you have a spot that you can imagine some of these giant, beautiful Bread and Puppet paintings to be on exhibit, I'm always looking for a venue, an event, or an activity that we can share with the community some of Peter Schumann's work. He's 91, painting and working and directing and baking bread every day. So you see a close-up in this little film of the rye bread, hand-ground organic rye, with a 175-year-old sourdough that he's kept alive from his great-grandmother, his family, and water and salt cooked in a wood oven. And he's been baking all these years. And now we're at 64 years of doing this.
My name is Duncan Holly. I have a self-employed business called Dragon Tree Laboratories. I'm here selling my artwork, my poetry, and some pottery, a little bit of magic artwork and things like that. I have a Substack template where I publish and sell my poetry and stories on the web about how I use nature walks to inspire and muse about nature and spirituality, and I write stories about that on Substack, and it's an adventure every which way we go. Thanks, guys. Peace and love.
I'm really happy that you're viewing this event and that hopefully you can create an event like this in your own community. And you can be in touch with me at breadandpuppetkuratrix@gmail.com, and breadandpuppet.org. You can get your tickets for the shows, and you can also look under exhibits and see some history and some more details of these exhibitions going on. So thank you, and I'm really glad you're here today. Enjoy the show, and see you at the circus.